everyone, it is Darkseeker here again. Welcome back for another video. Happy Sunday to all of you. I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend. So today I'm playing Lightforge's Jade Druid. Yes, you heard correct. Jade Druid in the year 2021. And no, you're not dreaming. Well, this glorious soundtrack in the background may want you to dream. It may want to put you to sleep. Yes, this is the theme of Ysera Unleashed, Emerald Nightmare. What a beautiful theme. What a relaxing theme, a haunting theme to listen to. But no, you're not dreaming. This is indeed Jade Druid in the year 2021. Why am I playing this deck? What has compelled me to play it? Well, I was browsing through the For Doomhammer Shaman Discord server and I came across this deck courtesy of Lightforge. So a big thank you to Lightforge for the deck list. And if you have followed my channel over the years, you'll know that Jade Druid is one of my favourite decks to play in Hearthstone. And I've got Legend with it on a number of different occasions, and any excuse to play it, I'm all over it. I need very little convincing. Now, I was playing this deck on the Legend ladder, where I really don't care about my rank, and I will be honest with you, I have lost more games with this deck than I have won. But for me in Hearthstone now, it's not about winning and losing. I could care less about wins and losses. It's about having fun. It's about playing cards that I enjoy, and I enjoy playing big green men. Although on that note, the meta is fast in the year 2021, that actually it's very rare for you to be in a position where you can actually play big green men. The games are usually over before that can happen. But that's okay. There are other fun cards in this deck too. There is Yogg Saron, Master of Fate. Now, as we progress through the video, you'll see that I swapped that out for the original Yogg. And there's also another card here that, you know, if you've watched my channel over the years, you'll have heard me refer to this card as my favourite card in all of Hearthstone. And it is Ysera Unleashed. Now, I've been told numerous times this year that Ysera is way too slow, that she has no place in Jade Druid in the year 2021. But maybe in this video, you'll see some exceptions to that rule. Maybe in this video, you'll see Ysera's dragons doing some good work. So sit back, relax, and join me for the next hour as we journey through the Legend ladder, playing Jade Druid with Ysera Unleashed. So in our first highlight, we're going up against a shaman, and I guess at this point, I'm feeling relatively confident when I look at my hand. We have ramp, we have armor, we also have Vargoth in hand, so Oaken Summons won't be pulling Vargoth onto the board, unfortunately, but that's okay. So in terms of what we can expect from our opponent, it looks like they're just going to be going face here with spells. And so our key to success will be armouring up out of range. Okay, Zuldrak Ritualist. There are 2 copies of it in the deck. For those of you that are wondering why that's the case, well, the deck author, Lightforge, was going up against big priests on the ladder. And as we know, Zuldrak Ritualist is excellent against Big Priest, because it puts those 3 1-cost minions onto the board, and then they die, the Big Priest resurrects them. It's great. Now our opponent has a frog on the board. We could poison seeds the board to get rid of it, but in all honesty, yeah, I don't see the need. Just armouring up massively is always going to guarantee us a win against a deck with a limited pool of spells. Okay, Pirate Warrior. And it is Ysera Unleashed that is facing down these pirates on the board. We are nearly dead. And so I am armouring up. Going to remove a little bit of this board. And we need to draw these dragons. That is going to be key. And ideally I'd like dragons with taunt. That doesn't have taunt. And that was just one dragon. That was disappointing, considering the number of dream portals that are left in our deck. But these two dragons on the board, they're absorbing damage. And that's key. That 4 damage that comes out of the Juggernaut, you hate it when it goes face. And I look at the Juggernaut and I think it's completely unnatural, right, to be in an aggro deck like Pirate Warrior. Because with aggro decks, you expect them to run out of resources eventually, and you expect to be able to make a comeback if you're a control deck or a slower deck. You expect to be able to fight for the board eventually, maybe gain some armor, make an eventual comeback, run the aggro deck out of minions, out of resources. But with the Juggernaut, they never run out of resources. And that 4 damage that comes out of the Juggernaut, that often hits my face, that I find the most annoying. But here I'm getting lucky. Here, the big minions on my board are absorbing that damage. Ysera Unleashed, with her 12 health, can soak up some of that damage. Our opponent, though, is just going all face. I think that's the correct strategy. So here we go, with another Dream Portal. Do we get lucky? Oh, that's a 4-9. If it had Taunt, I'd be so much happier. So in terms of proceeding now, if I could just keep this board as clear as possible. I'm not going to shuffle a Jade Idol. Not yet. Because I think that reduces my chances of drawing a Dream Portal, and I need to keep drawing those portals. Oh, 2 to the face there, but feeling pretty happy here with 20 armor. Oh, that's annoying. Cannoneer. What are the bets that the shots from the Cannoneer go face? No, the minions, once again, coming in handy. And that's not a Dream Portal. Yeah, be gone, screams the dragon. We need to get rid of the Cannoneer. I'm pondering Yogg here, but I don't think it's the play, as tempting as it is. Let's see what Nature Studies can give me, if anything at all. Breath of Dreams, I think, is pretty decent. So what do we get? Well, that's rubbish. That's a 4-4. Huh, that's a 2-6 dragon that normally would have Taunt and doesn't have Taunt. That's hilarious. Oh, a 4-8 with Taunt. I'll take that. Then I'll take a 4-10 as well. And now we can shuffle the Jade Idols. Could we be living the dream here? Could we be in a position where we can start playing big green men against the Pirate Warrior? So we have quite a nice board of dragons here. There will come a point where we can start threatening lethal against our opponent. Yeah, and they realise, in the end, it was hopeless. Ysera's dragons save the day. Alright, another shaman.
Nature seeks balance in all things.
Now, our previous opponent, the earlier shaman, was trying to throw spells at our face and conceded after we gained armor. I'll be curious to see what kind of shaman this is. Part of me really hopes that it would be some kind of Reno shaman. If you think back before the United in Stormwind expansion, Reno shaman was on the rise. After getting the Flurgle Toxfin combo, a lot more people were playing Reno shaman on the ladder. But this is not Reno shaman, it is Quest shaman. But things were looking pretty good for a couple of months. Seeing more Reno shaman on the ladder, seeing people on Twitter, on Discord, really pushing Reno shaman. In particular, the 4 Doomhammer Discord server and the members of that server doing everything they could to spread the word about shaman. And then United in Stormwind launched, and then Warlock became a problem, and everyone stopped playing Reno shaman. And now that Warlock is less of a problem, because of the quest line being banned in Wild, behold! Pirate Warrior is now the deck to beat. Pirate Warrior is the deck that is dominating, or one of the top decks that's dominating. And I don't think people have gone back to playing Reno shaman now. And that's slightly disappointing. But of course, all of you that follow my channel, you all know me. I am obsessed with Reno shaman. I'm obsessed with the Shadow Walk. So I'm sure that after the next expansion, I'm sure I will continue down that path. I just hope that shaman gets some good Battlecry support going forward to make the Shadow Walk continually viable. And when I say viable, by the way, I don't mean tier 1 viable. You know, I mean tier 3 viable. Behold! And I love Vargoth in this deck, I really do. Just the ability or the opportunity that presents itself for you to shout, behold, at the end of each turn. I think it's brilliant. Massive fan of Vargoth, and there's the frog. Okay, so if this game follows a similar pattern to what we experienced earlier, armor gain is the key. And if we gain enough armor, our opponent will just concede. Because ultimately, they have a limited pool of spells. Behold! Into armor, very nice. Okay, sure. A limited pool of spells that, once they're exhausted, that's it, they're done. He can't kill you. Compare that to Pirate Warrior, that in the late game is still always forever generating resources in terms of a weapon, pirate on the board, and that 4 damage that comes out of the Juggernaut. Okay, a Lava Burst, committed to kill the Vargoth. I'll take that. And that Bolt, killing the minion. So they're committing spells to my board to kill my minions. That makes me happy. It means those spells aren't going face. But what do we do here? We need to kill the frog, I guess. We could draw. Seems sensible. And I guess armor gain is still pretty good. Oh god, the elements will destroy me. Our opponent is not happy. We're at 61 armor and 30 health. Looking at the spells they've already committed or played, do they have enough left to kill me even after questline completion? Happy to take this nice and slow, happy for our opponent to lead, and I'm happy to react. Okay, frog number 2. Now normally if I were to see frog number 2 at this point in the game, I'd be freaking out. I'd be quite anxious, I'd be quite worried. But that would only be the case if I had 30 health max. I have 30 health plus 62 armor, so I'm going to say to my opponent, do your worst. Throw your spells at my face, try and burst me down. Let's see what happens. Although I suspect they will wait until questline completion. The question now is, do I throw a Spreading Plague at this board, or do I wait? I'm happy to commit the Plague. I think it's fine. Now we'll just remove one thing. I could have committed another Spellstone to clear something there, but I think it's fine as it is. And with 5 mana available, you're just going to throw spells at my face. Would you not want to save that Lightning Bolt in combination with the questline reward? You get to cast it twice. Or maybe they feel that they've got to do this in order to get Brukan, to get the questline reward. Okay. Nice entrance. Nice animation. I like Brukan. I really do. But here we go. Damage to the face. It's coming. That's 10. Still at 49 armor though. Oh, hello, Ysera. Kill the 7/7. That's a must, I think. And we just chill. Was it ever correct to play Ysera Unleashed on that last turn? Ooh, Elemental Destruction. It's been a long time since I've seen that card. And again, on an empty board. Oh dear lord. Overdraft. Oh my god, 25 damage! Another 10. Wow. Oh my god. So, clearly, if I had not been a druid, or an armor gaining class, if I'd been any other class or deck that didn't gain armor, I just would have died on that turn. So that's the win condition. But as it stands, I'm at 39 health including armor. What spells are left to come? What other burst spells, damage spells do they have? They've used up so much already. Okay, so trading that overdraft. Okay, what do we get from the Dream Portal? Please be something good. That's pretty good. Can we try again? Another dragon? Oh. Another Ysera. That's pretty cool. And... oh. That's nice. That's a 9/9. And do you know what? To be absolutely safe here, I'm going to gain some armor. This is pretty good. I could have played Ferocious Howl to gain more armor, but I don't feel like there's a need to risk drawing into more Dream Portals, in that I don't feel the need to put any more dragons on this board. Ha! Double Note Taker. And Ysera? blocking the perpetual flame. So they're just going to try again. If at first you don't succeed, keep trying again and again. Once again, Ysera blocking the way. Well, our opponent tried. They tried as hard as they could. It just turns out that a big board full of dragons is pretty difficult to deal with and to kill off. That was a really fun game. This shaman went further than the previous one, so good on them. Okay, it's time for another warrior. Keeping the ramp and keeping a spellstone to maybe kill a pirate. Maybe that spellstone will kill a South Sea captain or a cannon, perhaps. Okay. Golokka Crawler. Wow, this is a pirate warrior that clearly does not like other pirate warriors. And that's an interesting thought. The pirate warrior mirror matchup. Who is favoured to win that? Is it whoever gets Rikara down first as the questline reward? Is that the player that wins that game? Or whoever plays a crab first. Okay. There's the captain. As predicted. So we just need to get rid of that. We could Ferocious Howl and play a Spellstone. Or we could just do this. I'm going to take another Spellstone just because I think it's good removal. Keeping the Ferocious Howl in hand could be useful for later. If we could combo it with Solar Eclipse, for example. Okay, the Cannoneer needs to die, for sure. I'm then going to draw 2 cards here. I think that's pretty useful. And say goodbye to the Cannoneer. Our hand is pretty heavy here. Ysera Unleashed. We also have Yogg. They're not going to be doing anything for a few turns, unfortunately. The question to ask is this a Spreading Plague turn? Or can I afford to wait a little bit longer? Wrath could be flexible for us. Could be card draw, in addition to removal. And I think the card draw is important here. So I'm not going to play the Spreading Plague. I'm going to chill for a bit. Faced between the choice of a hero power to kill the patches or ramping up, I think ramp and a 2-2 is perhaps better. Even though it just dies very easily to the weapon hit. But yes, the ramp does bring me closer to Yogg, and it brings me closer to Ysera. Oh, Mr. Smite, that's a problem though. And now I wonder if that is going to warrant a Poison Seeds, because giving your pirates charge, it's a bad thing for us. Poison Seeds though may not be needed here. I think Starfall is absolutely fine. Single target removal And we've thinned this board down again. But look at our health total. Our health total is not great at this point. And part of me is now wondering, should I have committed a Spreading Plague on an earlier turn? Okay, here they go. They get Rakara. Questline complete. Okay. More damage. We're nearly dead. Very nearly dead, but Spreading Plague, maybe now at this point I'm happy that I've saved it. And this is where you start to see the limitations of Ysera Unleashed sitting in my hand as a 9-cost card. Has been pretty much unplayable up to this point because it's been too slow. So once you've seen me get value on it in earlier games in this video, here it is too slow. Because now they're going to play the questline reward. They're going to play Rakara, right? You're going to play Rakara? Wait a minute. They played Rakara onto a board with 6 minions. There's no Juggernaut. I don't understand. Wait, do they think that the Juggernaut is not needed to see out this game? They would have rather put down an additional pirate, that 2/2, that they can attack with physically next turn? Is there some next level thinking here that I'm missing, or did our opponent just misplay horribly? They're mousing over their own Rakara, by the way, so maybe they've misplayed. Your fate is bound to me, says Yogg Saron. And what do we get? Ha! Hilarious! Devouring Hunger! We've just eaten the entire board. And that's lethal. Wait, armor up to 31. We have 30 plus 1 from our hero power. That is still lethal. What a great Yogg Saron. Amazing. Trust in Yogg. Praise Yogg. Worship Yogg.
Nature seeks balance in all things.
Okay, in this next game, it's a rogue. Now, notice something. Yogg Saron did really well for me in that earlier game, the Master of Fate. But as you can see here, I've swapped him out for Yogg Saron Hope's End. Why have I done that, you ask? Well, in general, I feel that Yogg Saron Hope's End can be more consistent with clearing boards than Yogg Saron Master of Fate. If you cast enough spells in the game, really supercharge up your Yogg Saron Hope's End, hopefully one of the many spells that gets cast is likely to be a board clear, right? Whereas Yogg Saron Master of Fate tends to feel a little bit more limited. I think you're less likely to get a board clear through him. At least from my experience. So, in this case now, I'm trying out Yogg Saron Hope's End. And I'm happy to move between the two Yoggs, depending on what I'm facing, depending on how I'm feeling. The other question to ask is there room for both Yoggs in this deck? There'll be two 10-cost minions. And as you can see in my hand here, my hand's pretty clunky. We've already got Yogg sitting in the hand. We've got Ultimate Infestation too. Would I really want to add another 10-cost minion that could just get stuck in my hand? Now here we're just armouring up. I did not play the Oaken Summons. I did not play my Jade Blossom Ramp because I don't want to put a target on the board that my opponent can trade into with the 1/1. But it looks like that doesn't even matter. They don't need to trade into anything. Necroom Vial has just put KT on the board. That's really bad. And again, I am at a point where I'm not playing a Jade Blossom. I'm not putting a 1-1 on the board that they can trade into. But again, proving that Necroom Vial is OP in this situation. So actually, maybe I should have played the Jade Blossom or the Oaken Summons. Maybe I should have killed off their 1-1 so they couldn't play Necroom Vial on it. Anyway, our strategy for winning this game boils down to one thing, and one thing only. Poison Seeds, and a well-timed Poison Seeds. We have 2 copies. When do we commit them? This is the question. Death Grip? Oh god, they stole Ysera Unleashed. That's disgusting and rude. Oh no. You see, after Poison Seeds gets played twice, and we clear a load of big threats, maybe my win condition against the big rogue is me playing Ysera Unleashed and getting a load of big dragons on the board. Now I can't do that. They can do that. They can wait until I've cleared all of their big threats with Poison Seeds, and then they can just safely play Ysera and win the game. So things are looking very, very bad for me at this point. Okay, a 4-4 is not too bad. I'm going to make a little bit of a heads-up play here. I think playing a Spellstone for 2 on the 4-4 is fine. It's setting the board up for Starfall. Okay, 2 damage AoE, clear the board. That's what we're setting ourselves up for next turn. Now, we kind of telegraphed it here. They can probably see what's coming. But part of me doesn't want to clear this board, because it's full of 2/2s. They are board locked. They can't play any more big threats from hand. But do I need to clear the board? That's the question. It's still a lot of damage. Spreading Plague changes everything. Because now I could play Spreading Plague, keep them board locked for another turn, and then I can reevaluate. I just want to keep stalling here for a bit. Maybe until I draw my second Poison Seeds. Once I get my second Poison Seeds, I'll feel a lot happier, a lot more comfortable with this game. Even though I know there's a Ysera to come. Oh, good God. Death and Decay. Wow. So looking at what the Lich King gave them. Death and Decay to clear my Spreading Plague. Death Grip stole my Ysera Unleashed. It's as if they got the best Lich King cards. Or the cards they needed to come back into the game. It's really annoying. Well, Zuldrak Ritualist now is my best hope here. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to do much against whatever big threats come down. If I were them, they're 9 mana. I'd play Ysera Unleashed and shuffle a load of Dream Portals into the deck. Or maybe they're just going to hold back on it because they're waiting for that second Poison Seeds to be played. So if they're not going to play Ysera this turn... Oh... Anchor. I forgot that card existed.
No walls can hold me.
Oh dear.
No walls can hold me.
Oh, interesting. Second one. 2 Vanguards played and... Huh. That's a Deathwing. That is really scary because... What other dragons are in that hand, then, apart from Ysera Unleashed? And actually, I'm going to kill that 1/1. I'm going to kill it, because it'll put Ysera onto the board, right? That denies them the ability to play her, naturally. But it does put other dragons onto the board, as happened. But I think this outcome was good for me, all things considered. Now, I don't think these spiders are going to do a whole lot, ultimately, but I think they're better than the scarabs. So we've denied our opponent's ability to play Ysera naturally. That's at least a positive. How do they deal with the spiders then? Okay, they're going to trade. Oh god, what the hell is that? Line cracker. Oh boy. Okay, nothing coming out onto the board here. That's good information to know. Interesting.
Ooh, monsters behind you.
Monsters behind you. There's still a fair bit of damage on this board. I'm not really sure what to do here, to be honest. So if in doubt, look for a spell. Armor Gain to stall? None of those were very good options, ultimately. I have used Breath of Dreams in the past to draw cards, or specifically to get dragons after playing Ysera Unleashed, but, well, we don't have a Ysera Unleashed because our opponent stole it. Oh god! That is disgusting. What is that going to pull from the deck? And where's my poison seeds?
Greatest virtue is patience.
Okay. So, I think now it's time for Ultimate Infestation. Which minion do we target? Umbra scares the hell out of me. But then Anchor's got 5 attack. So I'm just going to remove attack from the board. Maybe I should have targeted the Umbra, but we've already seen a lot of big threats played from our opponent's deck. What value can Umbra still get our opponent at this somewhat late stage of the game? Do we care as much about Umbra? That's what I'm thinking. Okay, I stand corrected. I should have killed the Umbra. Of course, they'd have a second Colossus. Oh yeah, we should have cleared the Umbra. Oh dear. Well, here's an interesting play. Solar Eclipse and Poison Seeds. You see, they're going to get some 7/7s onto the board due to the Death Rattles. So if we Solar Eclipse, we can repeat the Poison Seeds effect. And that will take care of both of those 7/7s. And we put a nice big taunt in the way. Okay. Feeling a little bit happier about this game, but noting that both Poison Seeds are now gone. And not only that, I think I know what's coming from hand. Yeah. The Illusionist had summoned a 1/1 Yasharaj earlier, so that 10/10 was always in hand. And there it is on the board, looking quite scary here. One thing that I need to remember is that I do have Yogg Saron, Hope's End, in hand, right? At what point do we pull the trigger on Yogg? How many more spells do we need to play? How many more spells do we want to use to charge up our Yogg Saron? So I'm just going to stall here. Bit of armor, remove a little bit of damage. Because ultimately, I think I win through Yogg. We're not going to be winning through big green men, not with the 10-10 already on board. Big green men have not been developed significantly enough for us to win with them, so we're going to have to put all of our hopes and dreams and prayers into Yogg Saron, Hope's End. Huh. So, I think this is time now. Let's just see what this old god can do for us. Huh, of course, he kills himself. But he took down another old god. Two old gods cancelling each other out. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, so far this has been okay. Fort Steel, sure. Okay. This is fine. We have stealth with our hero, by the way. That's pretty awesome. We shuffle some cards into our deck, so we're going to avoid fatigue. Not bad. And Yogg is still going here. Huh, hysteria. Hilarious. Behold! Into nothing. So, not bad. Not bad at all. And now surely at this point, surely our opponent is exhausted of threats. Surely there's nothing more to come. Right? The decoys... What are they going to pull from my hand? Potentially Vargoth? Okay, that pulls something that's not Vargoth. That's fine. Okay, so this decoy pulls the Vargoth. Can you kill that Vargoth? I don't think you can, right? And that's good for me. If that Vargoth sticks on the board. More significantly, though, beyond the Vargoth, in terms of spell replayability, this is a pretty annoying board, right? There's a reasonable amount of attack power on this board. And so our opponent, I think, is done for if they can't clear it. No, they can't.
I'm almost out of cards.
Okay, we do take fatigue with that. That's annoying. Well, no more fatigue. Big green men, in you go. And face is indeed the place. It's amazing how things have worked out in this game. Behold! Our opponent stole our Ysera Unleashed. Our opponent played that big stream of threats. I am really quite surprised and shocked that we're in a winning position here. Wow, they can't draw anything. They are well and truly done. Yep, there we go, they concede. What a game! What a fun game. Now that felt like Hearthstone to me. Okay, joining this game in progress against Alpha110. Now, Alpha is someone I follow on Twitter, so it's always lovely to be facing people that are friends of mine on Twitter in the game environment. It's a small world. It truly is. Now, next turn, we do have Oaken Summons. We won't be pulling Vargoth onto the board, though, because he's in hand, as that's unfortunate. And notice that we are now playing Yogg, Saron, Master of Fate. So switching back and forth between the Yoggs, basically. I think in this particular matchup, maybe Master of Fate could be better? I don't know.
The light dims, but we fight.
You gotta sleep with the fishes.
Okay. So what do we do here? Ooh, another Oaken Summons. That's pretty nice. Double Ritualist sitting on the board. Two big taunts that they need to get through. Continuing to charge up that Yogg as well.
May the light grant you peace.
But the opponent is going wide here.
The light dims, but we fight.
Super wide on this board. However, our taunt's just eating up the board. It's pretty cool. So a bit of a slow turn for us here. But the ramp is nice. Brings us a step closer potentially to playing Yogg. Or some of our other high value cards. But they're just going back to that wide board again.
Reporting for duty.
Interesting. But once again, our Ritualist is eating up a big chunk of the board. I was so lucky to get both of those Ritualists down so early. Back-to-back turns, I think it was. If in doubt, trade, draw a card. Oh, that's actually pretty useful. I'm happy to throw away a Spreading Plague here. There's only 3 bodies on the board. But it is going to stall things out a little bit. We also have the potential of killing, yeah, that 4 attack minion. That's pretty good.
Do try to keep yourselves alive.
Now, there's quite a significant commitment there with the Barov just to get through the Spreading Plague. So, in the end, it does look like the Plague was worth it. Or another way to look at it is I expended one of my big sort of defensive cards in Spreading Plague, and they responded with one of their big defensive cards in terms of Barov. So kind of like a, you know, a like for like trade. I'll take that. Priority here I think is to kill the Barov. I was pondering Malfurion, but killing Barov does then clear a little bit of the board. I'm going to draw a card here, and then I'll gain some armor, I think, just to be safe. Okay, maybe I should have traded that card first. In the earlier games, you were seeing me use branching paths to gain armor, purely to gain armor against more aggressive opponents. I think here there's less compulsion to gain armor. My dream is your nightmare. Ysera Unleashed. I think this was a really good turn to play her. There wasn't too much happening on the other side of the board. And our opponent has to deal with a 4-12. It turns out they can do it quite easily. However, after Ysera, there's still 7 Dream Portals. Alright, here we go with Vargoth. That's not a Dream Portal. So let's try one more time. Behold! Into not a Dream Portal. Okay. That's fine. We've gained a ton of armor.
Accidents, they happen, you know.
Well, the buff effects continue here.
Reporting for duty.
Oh, that's interesting. This is kind of like a spreading plague, or at least it feels like that. Because Vargoth is going to behold in a minute, and we're going to get 2 more of these turtles on the board. Behold! Into more turtles. Glorious. Yes, this feels like a stronger spreading plague in terms of just putting taunts out wide onto the board.
Accidents, they happen, you know.
Seeing these turtles does remind me of a cartoon from my childhood. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back from the 80s and the early 90s. Those were good times, back when cartoons were good. Sorry, that was completely random, me reminiscing about cartoons there. But yeah, seeing these turtles triggered those positive memories.
The circle of life is over.
Okay, so beholden to nothing. But we've got some turtles, and we have some scarabs on the board. That's pretty good. And I think at this point our opponent... Oh god! That's a 13 attack, Mr. Smite. Oh dear lord. Add up that damage, and I can see precisely how that would be a win condition if we didn't have taunts on the board. Or so much armor. Wow.
The victory is yours.
Wow. Well, that was a interesting ending. My blood pressure went up for a few seconds there as I saw Mr. Smite. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video, and Lightforge's Jade Druid. The fact that I could still win games with Jade Druid in the year 2021 was pretty amazing. We got lucky against a couple of Pirate Warriors, which was pretty sweet. MVP card for me in this deck was Ysera Unleashed. You saw her do a little bit of work there in those earlier games, particularly big dragons with Taunt blocking the way against Pirate Warrior. The question then, of course, as is often asked, should you craft this deck? 9,400 dust. Is it worthy of being crafted? Well, I'm going to say to you, it depends on what you're after. It depends on what your aim is with Hearthstone. If your aim is to win games, the answer would be no, don't craft this deck. If you want to win games, play a tier 1 meta deck, okay, and just win with that. if your objective is to have fun and you like Jade Druid, then yes, definitely this is a really awesome fun deck to play. It's just that you may not win as many games as you would hope to win with it. Just be conscious of that, be aware of that. There is still something to be said though for armor gain and how that can stall. It can buy you time until maybe a Yogg Saron or a Ysera Unleashed can turn the game towards your favour. But do remember, Yogg Saron, either version, or Ysera Unleashed are both RNG-centric cards, right? You've got to hope for a positive result. With Yogg, you're hoping for a board clear often. With Ysera, you're hoping for good quality dragons that can help you solve a given problem on the board. So if it's a wide aggressive board, you're hoping for taunts. So yes, if you're willing to put your faith into Ysera and Yogg, then, well, maybe this deck is the deck for you. If you did give it a try, tell me what you think in the comments section below. I certainly would be interested, and I'm always looking out for new Jade Druid decks, just because I've got such fond memories of getting Legend with Jade Druid in previous years, previous seasons, and I would be interested in competitive versions of Jade Druid if they exist, and honestly, I would like Blizzard to revisit old mechanics from the past in future expansions and buff them up again. So the Jade mechanic, the old school Cthulhu mechanic, if you remember that, from the original Old Gods expansion. I honestly think there would be room for buffing those again and making them playable. I don't think Blizzard will ever do it, but as somebody that has fond memories of the old days of Hearthstone, there is certainly a market for nostalgia, and I think it would be positive for the Hearthstone player base, but that's just my opinion. So thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you all again very soon for more Wild Mode fun, but until next time, please stay safe, please look after yourselves, and as always, please be good to one another.